zone for sports.
Keeping score with Jess and Dean.
It is Sunday, January 18th. We are back in studio. We are back on YouTube. It's been a bit, the new year.
I need a GPS to get here.
Seriously.
Forgot.
Did you get a full tank of gas while you were at it?
What?
Oh, my goodness. So welcome back. How you feeling there,
Okay.
Toothy?
Yeah.
Lack of?
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah, on YouTube, it's going to be weird when you hold your face every time you laugh.
Yeah, no, it's been a challenging week. I'll tell you that much. And then you got to go back to work and, a 12-hour day. And it's just my body's off. Maybe that's the, when you have a tooth extracted. Yeah, it's a tough one.
And you have to talk a lot. And that doesn't help when you, are in pain and have your mouth is affected.
Yeah, no, it's been a tough week, especially. And then obviously we do this. If I had to do this 5 days this past week, it would have been tough,
right.
But took a day or two off from work and back at it. Not 100%, I can tell you that.
Well,
but,
we can tell.
But we got a big week ahead of us, so you have to, if you told me like I'll take a tooth extraction and a Pats,
win
division playoff game at home, you take it and you figure out the other stuff later.
Well, see, for me, it would be like, it depends on what tooth. Like, I'm not losing a front tooth for the Patriots. I love them, but we're not going that crazy. So luckily for you, it's
obviously
not
you can tell it's not visible.
Yeah, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to see that.
But I got to go back a couple of more times, so I'm not out of the woods yet. It's one of those things I don't want to get into the whole dynamic of it. It's just it's a lot. No, it's just I got put out. By the way, I don't mess around. Yeah, I'm not poor. You pay for it, you get the anesthesia, and you go down for the count.
That's what your insurance covers.
And you wake up. Well, I don't even know how much it was covered, but I went out of pocket for a lot. But I don't care. I'm not. I can't deal with pain. I'm a little baby when it comes to that.
For me, it's the noises. Like I wouldn't be able to. I'd go under local. I wouldn't go full, and then I just can't. Anything with a tooth and how it's grabbed, I can't take that noise. Like that's like fingers on a chalkboard for me. So I'm out.
Well, I went to an oral surgeon too. I wouldn't even let my own dentist do it. So you know what? You want to clean my teeth in 3 months, 4 months? I'll be back in April. But eventually, I do have to go to them and get the crown put on and the implant in between. It's a 3-prong process. It's a lot.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
So I know I look terrible. I mean,
you don't look terrible at all. You don't even look swollen.
It's a little swollen over here. So.
Put a nice pack on. You're fine.
Yeah, I did that.
We have, and you have some medication for it, so that's good. Don't use all of it. Anyway, you may want to give it to a friend. Just kidding. All right, so obviously we have a lot to talk about today. So why don't we just get to it because we have our Patriots at home playing at 3.
We never doubted it. It didn't look, it wasn't pretty, that's for sure. But this defense was so fun to watch. Congrats to them, man. It was so fun to watch. They won the game for us. I didn't throw it very well tonight. Need to be better. But we did what we had to do, and that's what it takes in the playoffs. And just proud of this team. That was fun, man. That was fun to get one at home and look forward to be back here next week.
I know they are back next week. Obviously, Drake May. I like him, admitting to the fact, it wasn't one of his greatest games. Obviously, it was kind of sloppy. It was a slow game. I don't like the feeling I had. I love the Patriots being there, but I'm back to that regimen of I can't breathe. I have to stand up in front of the TV. Yeah. I'm yelling at it. It doesn't go over well in the house. But what I have learned over the season about Drake May, bad game, learns from mistakes and then improves for the next one. However, the next one has one hell of a defense. So we're taking on the Texans today, 3:00. And you mentioned sloppy though, Jess, and it's sloppy because you faced the top 10 defense. Yeah,
the Chargers are a good football team. I mean, obviously you saw Herbert turn into Herbert again. 0-3 in the postseason. He's dreadful. Okay, I mean Harbaugh's losing his fastball quickly over there. But this was an elite defense.
Can you see it?
And you say it was a sloppy game, and Drake said it wasn't his best game. No, it wasn't. But you still got the W. You found a way. Touchdown to Hunter Henry. They ran the ball enough. They did what they had to do, and their defense showed up too. By the way, and I know obviously Herbert struggled, but you got to give a lot of credit to that Patriot defense. Zach Gore doing the making the calls on defense. I thought, Jazz, I think something that people don't remember is I thought that the underrated MVP of the game for the Patriots was left guard Jared Wilson, who people don't remember. I think it was the late third quarter, and I know May fumbled earlier in the game. That was a big fumble. He fumbled later in the game again. I think the Pats were up 2 scores, but it was still a football game. There was a play where May fumbled. I think it was late third quarter, early fourth quarter, where there was nobody around. It was going to be one of those scoop it up and go back the other way, and Wilson pounced on the ball and recovered recovered the fumble of Drake May. So you think about some of those plays that go under the radar that are not mentioned, and you think about it because I know you're already on to the Texans, but that was a big play of the game. And I know, and obviously, I know we're going to get right into the Texans game, but I do have a quick trivia question for you for the game, because I know you like to deal with a lot of the stuff that has nothing to do with on the field.
Yes.
Some of the off the field things.
The extra activities.
And I've hit you with these kind of things before, and I just don't think you're as invested in it when it goes to break. My question to you is, when the Patriots and Chargers got going,
okay,
Tarico Collinsworth on the call, they go to the break for the first time, in the night of the first break. What was the song being played as they were going to break, first commercial break?
I got to tell you, all their songs are terrible that they pick, but they try to do like the New England songs. So was it Boston?
So it actually equates to more of a Boston group. You're kind of you're warm.
Because they always stick with that. Aerosmith?
Nope.
Because I was going to say, they've done Don't Want to Miss a Thing, and I think that's the stupidest song to ever do for a men's athletic event.
I'll obviously preface this by saying I loved this group as a kid growing up in the mid-'80s, and I will tell you, it was If It Isn't Love by New Edition going to break.
That's what they did?
Yeah, that was what they played going to break.
That doesn't even make sense.
Well, what did you want? If you can't stand the rain, what are we doing over here?
I'm just saying, I would give me something hyped up.
You want Candy Girl?
Shipping up to Boston. How about that one? Even though it's Foxborough.
What?
I'm just saying, get me a song that's pumped up. These are just and by the way, I do love New Edition, and they're going to be in town. They're going to be at the TD Garden in March.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, it's a great show.
Johnny Gill in there?
Yeah, Johnny Gill's in there. I mean, Bobby Brown's in a wheelchair, but that's fine. Just wheel him out there.
What?
It's his prerogative, all right? Wow, no, I didn't remember that, but I did watch every second of that game, and
not only am I big on the music that they play, because I get into that kind of stuff to see what they're playing, and even on the ESPN games sometimes, and it's also about, sometimes I critique, like, where are they in the song? Like, where do they hit it? Like, where does it hit? Just like you as a DJ, you know the transitions in and out of breaks. I'm big on that.
Right.
And a lot of times
they gotta go to the hook.
A lot of times they play the song I like. They just don't hit it at the right time where they really should. So I'm just on that song, it was kind of like okay, but I like the actual song.
It just seems odd to me that I like that song. It's just like if you're playing your baseball game and you come off the mound and New Edition, If It Isn't Love, comes on like to pump you up to beat the other team. A little odd. That's all I'm saying.
I think it was more of a geographical thing with the Boston-based group.
Well, all right. Well, I like Candy Girl. All right, so let's go into today's game, taking on Houston. But before we even do that, you personally, here's the thing: Patriots exceeded our expectations this season. They won a playoff game. If they lose tonight, are you still satisfied with the season, or do you think the Patriots need one more to prove that it wasn't a weak schedule?
I don't think they need anything. I don't think they need to prove anything. I think people are going to say, unless they kind of run the table and win the whole thing, they're going to say they had a soft schedule. So at this point, it's not even, they have to, at least they'd probably have to get to the Super Bowl for people to dispel that myth. I'm all set with that. The Pats, if they went one and done, I would have been super disappointed.
Okay.
So obviously by getting a W, I think that kind of solves a lot of that and puts that aside. So I know you think I'm puffy right now. I'm a little pee. Like,
you're popping your peas
I'm popping a little bit.
Yeah,
is that the extraction? I
mean, no, you're a good pee popper.
I can sense it that you're kind of like, and I'm trying to like adjust to it, trying to back up a little bit.
It's all on the lips.
Yeah, well, my lips I'm struggling this week. I'm just letting you know.
It's all right. I'll let you pop your peas.
Thank you.
Just for today.
But no, I mean, this is I'm happy about the season. Obviously, I don't want an L at 3:00 today. I want W's. That's you're there. You never know when you're going to get back there. You're going to play the toughest schedule next year. You have an opportunity at home versus the Texans, a team that until they beat Pittsburgh the other night never won a game on the road in the playoffs.
Wow, I didn't.
So
know that.
obviously I'm frightened by them. Their defense just frightens me. I'm going to get into some of these matchups, some of their edge rushes, and they kind of play a very simple defense under Matt Burke. He's the defensive coordinator. They don't like blitz a lot. They've got 4 guys. They line them up and they just go. And when you got Willie Anderson and you got Sheldon Rankins, who picked one up the other night when Rodgers got rolled.
Oh my God!
He scooped
retire
it.
already.
You got a 350-pound lineman running it back 40 yards.
He looks terrible.
It was over for Aaron. But no, this team's really. D'Amico Ryans is a terrific head coach, and this team belongs here. I mean, this is going to be a grinded out. And I think the Chargers game was a good segue into this game, because I think it gave the Pats like a little bit of an appetizer. And I think obviously the Texans are a better all-around team, but you look at the Chargers, they were a top 10 defense. Now you're going to play a top 5 defense, but it gave the Pats a chance to beat a team that like has a proven track record defensively. And you didn't really see a lot of those teams this year on that somewhat, as you would say, softer schedule. So
right.
I think the Pats really proved something by obviously holding the Chargers to 3 points. I know they only scored 16, but it was enough.
All right. Well, going through today, I will say this, and because now I'm with you and I'm watching the games more closely, I was not impressed with Will Campbell's play against the Chargers. And you mentioned that they have one of the top defenses, and now Houston is even stronger than them. Are you concerned about him protecting our quarterback? Because that's going to be huge.
I believe if Campbell and Wilson on the left side play the way they did against in that Chargers game, which obviously came out with a W, it's going to be a long day for the Pats. I think Drake May could be running for his life.
Yeah.
You got Willie Anderson, 12 sacks. You got Danielle Hunter, 15 sacks. I mean, that's almost 30 sacks combined. And I love their secondary. So they're going to be able to, is Drake May going to be able to just line up and throw it 40 times? I don't think so. With Kamari Lassiter, Derek Stingley Jr., and of course the kid Jalen Petrus, who had the little puffy helmet on the other night.
Oh, yeah. Safety first.
All 3 of those guys, 4 interceptions apiece. They're all elite at their position. So, if you wanted to, Jess, if I wanted to be nitpicky and say there's a weakness in that Texans defense, I'd say maybe it's their linebacker core. Azeez Al-Shaair, he had 2 interceptions during the year. He's a good player, solid guy. He's been around a while, but their linebackers are a little bit weak. It's the down lineman. It's that interior side. Those 4 that they rush, they're really difficult, and their secondary is second to none right now. Only giving up 17 points a game during the season.
All right, so we'll go for the under. Do you think that what I feel like the game plan should be Tom Brady style, because obviously Drake is not going to have a lot of time in the pocket. So maybe we just do 6 yards, 8 yards, quick little throws, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and just chip away all the way up the field.
I don't disagree with you, but wasn't Rodgers trying to do that the other night? I know Rodgers is toast. I get it. But it seemed like as soon as he threw the ball, Jess, there was somebody there. And I can't put it all on Rodgers. I know he didn't have the weapons.
Yeah.
I know he had Metcalf back in that game.
He likes to drop balls when he comes back.
Metcalf dropped the one. That was probably the one big one that they could have hit that they didn't, and it kind of came back to bite them. But think about that game for a second. It was 7-6 late third quarter.
Yeah.
It was still a game. It was a game where you thought maybe Boswell with a kick could have, it would have been a 10-9 game. Who knows? Didn't go out that way. But this is going to be a real tough one, Jess. The Patriots going to be really challenged to score points. Borregales, when he gets his opportunities to kick field goals, he's going to have to be on point, and he has been this year.
Yeah.
So you're going to hope that in the kicking game, I know they got the guy Fairbairn. He's a 10-year vet. He's a good kicker for the Texans. So that when maybe you flip a coin, he's got a little more experience. Obviously, a lot more experience than the Pats kicker. But 28 for 28 on extra points this year, 44 for 48 on field goals for the Texans kicker Fairbairn. So and a 57 his long was 57, so he can kick it from anywhere in the arena.
All right. Well, I mean, obviously that we're gonna have to rely a lot on that today. I mean, hopefully we don't. Hopefully we just run them up the field and everyone in the stadium's loud. And speaking of that, this is what Diggs wants.
I'm not going to say it. I think they could have been a little louder. Okay. They got loud at times, but I think they might took a little nap in between there a little bit. We got to give them a lot to cheer for too on the offensive side of the ball. But it was those spurts where you knew that they were present, and on defense they were present every time. I'm just talking from the offensive side of the ball. I appreciate the quietness a little bit though. We'd be a little bit more efficient. But if something exciting happens, don't be scared to scream at the top of your lungs.
Yeah, so I feel like the stadium's going to be louder than ever because we want this. But you were talking about some of the matchups that you think we may have a problem with. How about on the offense? Nico Collins, I mean, that's a huge weapon that they're not going to have. I don't believe he's going to play today because of the concussion protocol.
Yeah, as you and I sit here right now, it sounds like probably not. And we got good news on our side that Christian Gonzalez probably will play for the Patriots. So a big loss possibly for the Texans and a big addition for the Patriots. On the Texans side, of course, Collins is their number one receiver. They're going to look at Jaden Higgins. He's the young kid, the 6'4" wide receiver, 41 catches on the season, 525 yards and 6 touchdowns. Look for him to be a big target. You saw Christian Kirk the other night. 8 catches, 144 yards. He's a veteran. He came over from the Jaguars a couple of years ago. So he's a guy that obviously Stroud's going to covet a lot. And of course, they were fortunate in that game, the Texans. Granted, they get by because they have an elite defense.
Yeah.
Stroud fumbled 5 times. Okay. And I know they recovered. You look at the stats, you don't see it in the statistical report. He fumbled 5 times. They recovered, I think, 3 of them. But he's been just okay.
Right.
But with that defense, you don't really need an elite quarterback. And they're going to run the ball, of course, with Nick Chubb. He had 10 carries. He's kid came over from the Browns a couple of years ago.
Yep.
Not the same guy, but they go with Woody Mox. He had 19 carries for 112 yards and a touchdown versus Pittsburgh. Look for Mox to get the bulk of the carries. Dalton Schultz, I mentioned him last week. He's the tight end. Look for Stroud as to use him as his security blanket. Without Collins, that's a big loss for the Texans and something that the Patriots can definitely exploit.
Who do you think today on the Patriots is going to have a breakout performance? Like, do you think everyone is going to be like up to par? But do you think like Ramondre, and I don't want to jinx it right now, so knock on wood, he's been excellent. So he's figured it out. They stuck with him. He's playing better. I just don't know, like, is it a Hunter Henry? Hollins is still out, which I would have loved to have him back for this game. Oh, give it to me.
Because I'm going to throw a name that, like, he's just been sort of like kind of lost in the shuffle the last month or so, and we need him and to step up. And I'm going to go with Pop Douglas.
Oh, all right.
I'm just going to say that because because I think he can win the one-on-one matchup. And the way that they set up on defense, Matt Burke, the defensive coordinator for the Texans, plays a very simple defense because they have the personnel to do it. I think Douglas can beat his guy one-on-one, and I think he's the guy that's going to have to get separation. I think Douglas could have a big game for the Patriots.
Well, they were saying that the Patriots actually are one of the teams that have the least amount of separation, and that's weird because that seems like that's more than 2 seasons in a row. Do you think that has to do with the age of these players, or
No.
so what's with the lack of separation then?
Well,
Is it to the play calling?
They still don't know because McDaniels has been terrific calling the plays this year. I mean, he's made all the difference in the world. This is a far cry from what we saw last year. I think guys like Booty and I think guys like Pop maybe hasn't made the jump that we expected him to make.
Stop saying Pop.
But Booty's definitely made the jump.
Yeah.
Since his first year. It's his third year now. So I'm not going to buy into all of those numbers. I think the Pats can find a way to get up and down the field. It's just like I said, I think it's going to be a field goal kicking game. Inside the red zone is going to be real difficult. Hunter Henry would be a guy in the red zone. That's the guy he likes to throw to. Maybe it's an Austin Hooper who comes out of nowhere and gives them a little bit of a boost as the backup tight end. The Pats, if they have a problem if Campbell and Wilson are struggling on the line,
he's going to have to roll out.
Yeah, and you're going to need more when you're going to need to, you're going to need more backup linemen in there. Ben Brown, you're going to have to put more guys in there. Mumford Jr., he's on the right side. You may have to put 6 down linemen in there, have 2 tight end sets just to protect me from getting killed.
Is Trent Brown? Is that his
yes,
name?
That
used to be a Patriots guy.
He is mammoth. He is so big. He looks as bigger than everybody. There's nobody even
He
near
looks like
him.
Everyone's his children. Like they all look like little kids. Yeah, so we're gonna play him this
He's on
today.
the right. He's on the right side. So
right.
so you look at him.
See if he's more motivated for them.
And back to that Pats defense, Jess. You saw it against the Chargers. Having Robert Spillane back in the lineup was a huge difference maker. And you saw that everybody elevated the game. Kayvon Chasen's been banged up, but he played great in that game. It was a team effort. If I worry about anybody on the Patriot defense that kind of gets to me where I always worry about him would be like a Carlton Davis. I don't think they have the playmakers to burn us, but Christian Kirk could be a problem for a guy like Davis, who always seems to at least find, there's always a flag at some point during the game.
Yeah.
There's always some type of laundry on the field when he's playing. Well, I know they paid him big, but he's done a nice job for the Pats, but I would be a little concerned about him.
Yeah, it's those kind of plays that you just don't want where they get the, spot the foul type of thing, 15 yards and all the penalties. All right. Is there anything else you want to talk about for the Patriots for today before we thank our sponsors and get into, because there's another game tonight that we should hit on, the Rams and the Bears. We'll be right back.
790 The Score, your best bet for sports.
The Rhode Island Building and Construction Trades Council. 10,000 skilled craftsmen and women. Together with our contractors, we spend approximately $6 million per year training our membership in state-of-the-art construction technologies to ensure a stable, safe, and productive workforce, delivering projects on time and on or under budget with the finest craftsmanship in the industry. The Rhode Island Building and Construction Trades Council. We build Rhode Island.
Celebrating 25 years, Build RI members have been directly involved in constructing over 110 local, all-union, large-scale commercial construction projects worth more than $10 billion, promoting local economic development initiatives in order to create business opportunities for local businesses and work opportunities for local skilled craftsmen and women in a competitive environment that is level and fair. With career opportunities developed through apprenticeship training programs, the focus is geared towards making their craftsmen and women the most highly skilled in the construction industry. To find out more, visit buildri.org. No one wants to be involved in an accident, but if there is an occurrence, the best place to take your vehicle is Northeast Auto Body in Johnston. They have a state-of-the-art collision and service center complete with the latest in mechanical and collision repair. But they're a business that handles more than just body work. They provide services such as vehicle inspections, mechanical work, rentals, paintless dent removal, 24-hour towing, and more. Northeast Auto Body, serving New England for over 20 years. Get it done right the first time. Northeast Auto Body, 775 Hartford Ave. Johnson, and at neautobody.com. All right, so we have the Rams taking on the Bears. The Bears are at home. It's going to be, what is it, a 6:30 game, I believe, tonight?
Yes.
That's the second game of the day. And how are you feeling about this one? The Rams, I was shocked. They were 10-point favorites going against the Panthers. And the Panthers, they almost pulled one out. There was a closer game than I anticipated. So do you think that the Rams have lost, as you would say, a little bit of their fastball, or do you think they're going to show up tonight and just destroy the Bears?
I don't think they're going to destroy the Bears, and I think they will show up. But back to that Carolina game, I will say this, Jess. When the best defensive play of the day for the Rams was by your best receiver, Puka Nacua, in the end zone to bat the ball down. What a terrific play to realize that that was going to get picked. That's a game changer.
He's
right there.
unbelievable.
They could have stole that game, Carolina, and of course, the better team moved on, but was not impressed by the Rams in this game. And Stafford made some throws when he had to, but it wasn't it. And I love people. Oh God, it's social media. I feel bad. Not everybody knows. Listen, I don't know everything about sports, but I know a little bit. I don't need someone to say, well, if Stafford loses this game today, May gets the MVP. The votes are in after the season. It has nothing to do with today. Right. So you don't lose the MVP award if you have a lousy game. So
they've been placed.
It's been done already. So now this game, obviously, Caleb Williams just been finding a way. I don't think either one of us are really huge Caleb Williams fans. No. But Ben Johnson, yeah, okay. He knows. Someone
was fired up after he beat. Oh, did you see that handshake against Green Bay?
It's aggressive.
They hate each other.
It's aggressive. I guess they're from the same tree, but I guess guys don't always get along with each other when they're involved.
Usually, it's not that obvious.
Yeah, right.
Whatever. Try to be a professional.
This is going to be a great football game. I mean, can the Rams, obviously a warm weather team, go on the road into Soldier Field? I think it's the last year of Soldier Field. I think they're getting a new stadium. I believe.
Wow, them and the Bills.
I think so. I'm not sure on that one, but this is going to be interesting. Williams has been able to find a way to pull games out. I think Roma Dunze's back in this game. The Bears have been really good this year. I think a coach has made all the difference for Caleb Williams.
Definitely.
This is going to be a tight game. A warm weather team going into a cold weather environment. It's going to be interesting. Because I like old school. Mm-hmm. I'm going Bears in this game because I want to see. I've been telling you this all year. I want to see the old teams that I believe. And I'm not doing this because there's people out there saying, well, they want to see the Patriots. Yeah, we want the rematch with the Bears.
Bury the Bears.
All right.
Was it bury the Bears?
No,
bury the Bears.
Yeah, bury the Bears. You lost 46-10. The fridge ran over you. Okay, it's over. Okay.
The fridge emptied out all the condiments.
All right. McMahon had a field day on us. We got rolled.
He has one eye.
We had no shot in that game. Okay, so there's no revenge. There's no It was 1986. It's over. Okay.
I got a T-shirt, I think, from Douglas Drug at the time, and we are just like, we're gonna watch the Bears. We're gonna just squish the fish.
Well, I was gonna say that run to the Super Bowl every week. It was a different, theme. So, and of course, going into Miami, it was squish the fish. Mm-hmm. They did. The Pats won all those road games with Grogan and Eason, and they ran into a buzzsaw. that was one of the greatest teams of all time. Actually, that Bears team, I think, almost ran the table. They lost to the Dolphins on Monday Night Football. They were like 13 or 14-0. I think that was the only game they lost all year. So They didn't have the perfect season, but and I'll never forget, Walter Payton did not score a touchdown in that game. He was their franchise for like 13 or 14 years. The classiest guy ever. God rest his soul. Loved Walter Payton, one of the great players of all time. And Mike Ditka said to this day he regretted not giving him the ball because they were blowing the Pats out.
Oh,
let him get paid there. They're giving the ball to the fridge, your down lineman, which was a gimmick. And he said he didn't think of it at the time. He wasn't trying to keep it away from him. He just did it. He wasn't.
They were winning, and that's all. That mattered.
And Walter even admitted that he felt snake bitten that he didn't get a chance to score in the Super Bowl, but obviously got a ring and deserved it. A class act, and that Bears team.
It's all about getting to the ring too. By the way,
exactly. And they had that 46 defense. They called it under Buddy Ryan, who was obviously not a great head head coach, but one of the great coordinators, and under Mike Ditka. So, you think about rematch time. I think it's a little early to get to that point, but they are you got 8 teams left, and Patriots and Bears are 2 of them.
Mm-hmm. And so, who are you going with? You want the Bears to win because you want the old school?
I want the Bears. I think the Rams are still a better team, but I think take the weather into consideration. I'm gonna go Bears in this game.
Wow. All right. And then you're right with the coaches. I mean, you got McVay and Ben Johnson. Those are good, very elite young guys that can whip up some new. Yeah,
it's great for the league.
Some new plays. So all right. So that game is going on at 6:30. We're gonna do Godson's games of the week, and then we're gonna talk about some coaches being fired and hired.
Let's go! Football! Godson's games of the week.
Well, there's only 2 games, and he's going Pats and he's going Bears. He's going the Patriots and he's going with the Bears for Godson's games of the week. I mean, the Pats are giving 3, Bears are getting 3, and we'll see what happens. What?
Maybe he wants the rematch.
Maybe he does.
Maybe he
Who
wants
knows?
the 85, 86 season. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know who I would rather have. I guess that would be a cool thing if it was the Patriots and the Bears and May and Williams, because they were in the same draft class, right?
1 and 3.
We could see who could. That would actually be
nice.
pretty cool.
That would be nice. Storylines.
It also could be Stafford and May, which was the 2 people competing for the MVP. So that's another.
There's so many different ways we could do the storylines. You're always going to find
but
something.
But they both have to win. So.
Yeah, let's get W's. Let's win first.
All right, so let's go. Other places around the league. I want to have a clip from about Tomlin.
We'll hear from Mike Tomlin at some point in time, but my sense is that he's going to go into television, which is what Sean Payton did during the year that he was out. It keeps people involved in the game without having to work coaches' hours, or he simply could just take the year off. That's something that's also entirely possible. He has earned the right to get to do what he wants to do at this point in time. Mike Tomlin is going to be desired in any number of places. He could have a coaching job tomorrow if that's what he wanted.
So what do you feel about that? I kind of like that he kind of called himself quits before. Do you think they were going to fire him or no? I mean, 19 years, just try and get to the 20.
I don't want
to me, just get to the 20.
All right, you're looking for certain. I'm a big numbers guy. I told you a week ago, I said, you're going to wake up one day and you're going to see either Tomlin or Harbaugh. It's going to be like, mutually parted ways or step down. It wouldn't be a firing. I was wrong. Harbaugh's was a firing. He was fired. And of course, not a problem finding a job. And Tomlin obviously, don't forget, now he can't just go anywhere.
Why?
Because he's still got 2 years left on his contract. He'd have to be compensation for the Steelers. They own his rights.
Oh, so then he'll do TV.
That's why everyone's saying he's not going to coach next year.
Yeah.
So that's that whole other little caveat in there. But so they're saying that they'd have to make they could trade. They could make trade compensation. They could work something out. If he wants to coach next year, he can find a way. But it would cost the team something. Here's the problem with the Steelers, Jess. The last 5 or 6 years, I don't know how many years Roethlisberger.
They don't have a quarterback.
I know you don't like. There you go. I know you don't like Roethlisberger, but they haven't had a quarterback since he left.
Right.
And in that sense, Kenny Pickett with the small hands, stop it. Okay, Russell Wilson checked out. Aaron Rodgers, okay, you saw the evidence there. You can't just keep patching it. And the thing with Tomlin is such a good coach. You give him anything, he can win a few. He wins. He doesn't bottom out.
Right.
So he's in that middle, and so you're 8 and 9, 9 and 8, 10 and 7 every year. You're in, like when the Pats picked Mac Jones at 15. Well, until we bottomed out and got Drake May, look where we are now.
Right.
So when you're in the middle, I mean, can you hit it out of the pocket in the middle of the first round? Yeah, anything's possible. Dan Marino went 27th, I think, when you got drafted by Miami. But for the most part, you have to draft well. And Pittsburgh just hasn't bottomed out. So I think right now they need a reboot, that team. They're an older team. I mean, you saw the end of their defense. Kyle Dugg is slow. He's trying to make plays at the back of the defense. Cameron Hayward's 37. He's older than dirt, and he's still good. Don't get me wrong. TJ Watt is terrific when he plays.
Yeah.
That Pittsburgh team needs to be revamped. It's going to be interesting to see who gets that job because they don't like change. They're like me.
Yeah.
I don't like change. They've had 3 coaches.
They don't like winning, I guess.
They've had 3 coaches since 1969.
Wow.
Chuck Noll was there forever.
Yeah.
Then Bill Cowher came in. He was there almost 2 decades. And now Tomlin almost 20 years. They've had 3 coaches in about 50 years.
Wow.
That's consistency. The Rooneys, they like to keep it with it in-house.
So with the available coaches that are out there right now, who do you think would be a best fit for Pittsburgh before we talk about the Giants?
I mean, again, I hate to say the word retread because right now there's, a lot of people think Tomlin will coach next year because someone said to me the other night, well, there's 9 jobs out there.
Seriously?
There's so many jobs out there. You're never going to get a season where there's so many jobs out there. He could wait a year and then next year there's 2 jobs and he doesn't like the 2 jobs that are out there. The next coach for Pittsburgh, I mean, Harbaugh, it looks like John Harbaugh looks like he's going to the Giants. Great move for the Giants. Go ahead.
Quick question about that. How was that so quick? So was that during the season they were talking? Do you think?
No, not necessarily.
That was like 2 days and he was signed. Like
Yeah.
he didn't even did he talk to anybody else? Or did he just knew he wanted to go to the Giants?
I think, as I told you, and I said, he's going to have I told you 2 weeks ago, I said he's going to have his pick wherever he wants to go. He's the guy.
Yeah.
He's the number one guy, assuming that, because Tomlin may not coach. He's going to be able to pick his job. Everyone said maybe Miami. They didn't fire the nerd right away.
Yeah.
They waited a little bit because they didn't admit it, but they didn't fire him the next day on Black Monday. They waited 3 days later because Harbaugh got fired. So they said, we want him. But Harbaugh likes the Giants, and obviously he believes in Dart. He's not going to go there if he doesn't like the quarterback. I'm shaking on Dart right now.
Yeah, and they got a lot of people coming back.
Yeah, and of course the GM Shane, he can't get it wrong this time. He has to get this one right. He botched it. Dayball's gone. Maybe Dayball gets another crack at head coaching. I think the big name, Jess, if you want to say Pittsburgh right now, I can give you the answer. I'm all over the place. How about Brian Flores, the defensive coordinator for Minnesota? I like him. I know he sued the NFL about that, the faulty, the whole thing, and so we'll see how that all plays out. But that's a guy, again. These coordinators, they're such good coordinate. But they're so good at it. You want to see them stay in their roles, but of course, they're always going to want another crack at it. I'm hearing Robert Salah, the defensive coordinator for San Fran. He was there before.
Yeah.
He's great at it.
Yeah.
He's not a good head coach. You give him another crack, he's going to suck again.
He can play, if anything.
It's 5-12. He's jacked. He's 5-12 every time. It's going to be interesting to see. I would think Flores would be the guy I like for Pittsburgh. And don't forget, we're both forgetting the Ravens job's available now too, because Harbaugh is gone, and that's not official yet with the Giants, but that's happening.
Yeah.
So obviously John Harbaugh to the Giants.
I think.
Yeah, and there's some other names out there. Obviously Kevin Stefanski, who was let go by Cleveland. I see him getting another job. There's a lot of names out there.
So
Cliff Kingsbury could get a job too.
Do you think McDaniel from the Dolphins is the only one that people are kind of standoffish, or do you think he's another one that they're going to go after? I haven't heard much about him since the firing.
I think enough people have seen in the last 4 or 5 years in Miami that he doesn't really have the locker room, but I think he's so smart and he's so good at X's and O's with football. I think he's going to be an offensive coordinator somewhere.
Okay.
Could be the Ravens, could be somewhere, but he's definitely going to be working somewhere. I don't know about as a head coach, but in a season where you have 9 openings, he could get a job and another crack at the apple. So, the Cardinals have an opening. Nobody wants that Arizona job. Of course, Cleveland. It's gonna be interesting to see all these names. You probably won't see Josh McDaniel, and I hope we don't see Josh McDaniel mentioned because I think he's settled.
Yeah, we're done. Like, stop going back and forth. You're here. This is what you're best at. Just chill. You're doing fine.
Yeah, I guess he lives.
Don't move the family.
No, I guess he lives in Westwood, Mass. He's well paid. He's still being paid by the Raiders.
Right.
I mean, he's got it made. His kids are growing up in New England. He loves New England. You're great as an offensive coordinator. Just stay in your lane, man.
Yeah, that's when you're excellent at what you do, and especially knowing how not good he was as a head coach. Didn't they fire him mid-season?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So forget
And
it.
in Denver, he was fired mid-season. Every time he gets fired mid-season.
So forget you can't even be a full season head
make
coach.
a full season. And by the way, Jess, you're going to see it all, next week. At this time, you could see things different. Are there any teams left in the playoffs that could have a coaching change? Obviously, Philly lost. Sirianni's still there.
Oh, yeah.
McDermott, I told you if he was one and done, see you later. But now they obviously won, and I kind of like them, kind of going forward, even though they're banged up. McDermott could be gone, and that's, you never know whose phone could ring.
All right. Well, I think that wraps up our football segment. Let's get right to basketball. I don't like that bet. Hold on. There we go. All right. So,
Chick didn't like the bet.
I didn't like the bet. That's more baseball-y. All right. So the Celtics, they've been down a little bit. I saw the score the other night, and they were playing the Pacers, and they said was there Jaylen Brown playing that game or no?
No, so he did miss that game.
All right.
Yeah.
But the Pacers are terrible. Am I right or am I right?
But they're still well coached by Carlisle. Yeah, they're like 7-30. I mean, they're not good. They're not good.
So them losing to the Pacers was surprising to me. But the most thing in our production notes, I didn't see it, was what's going on with Missoula. You didn't like a little bit. He was copping an attitude, was it? I did not see this anywhere.
No, and I get a feeling like after, because I hung out with him for 6 minutes in Washington like a year ago, you think I'm like in his camp, and I am. I love Johnson's own, but like when he's wrong, he's wrong.
Yeah.
And so obviously there was a play where the Celtics did come back with a late surge. And Pascal Siakam hits a shot off the window with about 6 seconds left. And the Celtics still had a chance to tie or win the game. Derek White missed a 3 at the buzzer, which would have won it. Okay, so you still had a chance. You didn't lose at the buzzer. And they went into the press conference, and I guess he was asked the question, what happened on the last play of the game? And he said, illegal screen. Now, that could be true, but you see this all the time. I mean, it should never come down to one play. You put yourself in a position because you couldn't beat the lowly Pacers. So how about that's on you, all right? And then I guess they pivoted to other journalists and other reporters asking different questions.
Okay.
And he just kept answering with the same. It just was the same answer. So he did it like 7 times. He kept saying illegal screen, and then he finally just got up and walked away. I mean, that's a little bitchy to me, and I think that's where Stevens needs to step in and say, we don't do that around here.
Right.
Like answer the question and move on. Seriously.
Or I would have more respect if he left after the first time he said the screen and he was mad about that.
Yeah.
Is that a fining type of thing? He wouldn't be fined for that. Like Jaylen Brown got fined recently for calling out, and he said he'd take it. He didn't care. But for Missoula, would that be something?
No, probably not by the league. That's something like, your team should handle. That's something where, like, I think like a Brad should go to him and say, you know what, Joe? And on that one,
Chill out.
And you know what?
He seems like the guy you can't talk to after a loss or if he's fired up. Like he sees red and that's it.
Like as you would say, sometimes the eyes go, would you say the eyes go black or something? In that situation, I'm not saying he had that look, but it was like, all right, so I could see if someone kept like, like when when Diggs got in trouble and he said, I can't talk about it. Now the next question's like, so what happened on that night? Well, I just said I can't talk about it. This was different. They were asking different questions and he kept answering with the same, get over it now. Okay, you still had a chance to win the game. Move on. You didn't get it done.
Okay.
But obviously the Celtics did rebound. They came back against Miami Thursday night, and that's another place that they don't really do well. And Spoelstra usually gets over on the Celtics. And Adebayo was terrific in this game. The Celtics were down 19 early. I think it was 28-9 in the first quarter. Oof. Okay, I happened to catch it like third quarter after work at the restaurant, and I'm watching. I gotta be honest with you, and I hope I'm not saying this just because he had a monster game, but and I've been talking about Simons all year, telling you that he's probably going to be a deadline trade because he's an expiring contract.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to do this off of a monster game. The kid had 39 off the bench. You better think twice before you move this guy.
Right.
What I'm saying is, if you can get better, if you can get a Zubac from the Clippers, or if you can get another rebounder, or a Walker Kessler from Utah, there's guys out there. If you can make a move, I get it. If you better your team, I'm okay with it. But if you salary dump him at the deadline, I'm going to have a problem with that because this is a guy who can get his own shot. This had nothing to do with Joe Mazzulla's coaching the other night because he knew it. He just let him go. I don't think they were running plays, Jess. He just kept coming down, beating people off the dribble, scoring in the mid-range. He can get to his spots. He's got a little bit of Dame Lillard in his game because he played under Lillard and learned from Dame Lillard. He doesn't do it every night, but I mean, this guy is one of the best six men in the league, 39, and he carried the Celtics to a big win on the road, 119-114. The Celtics, after a couple of a little hiccup with a 2-game losing streak, they lost to Wemby Saturday night.
Well, at least with that one. You get it.
But I like what the Celtics are doing. I think they're 25-15 and they're second in the East. The Knicks have lost 6 out of 8, so the Celtics kind of like sliding into that 2 slot. It's kind of going back and forth. But there's 1 or 2 games that separate you going from 2 to 6 in the East. So you got to stay in that mix. But I like the rebound against the Heat. I thought the Celtics showed something in that one.
I will say this. I was watching a little basketball the other night, and it wasn't Celtics. I was watching the 76ers, and Embiid, goodbye. There's no need for him to be playing basketball anymore. The laziest player I've ever seen. It was beginning of the game. It wasn't like the fourth quarter. He was walking. He was just throwing the ball away. He was under the basket and he couldn't make it. He was dishing it out and he couldn't throw it to anybody. Goodbye. I understand why he doesn't play as much. He's terrible.
I have to be honest with you. I was watching that game because that was right after I got the tooth yanked.
Yeah.
So it was Cleveland.
Two things were painful. Embiid's play in your mouth.
What? No, but in that game, I noticed that he's kind of settled in now as basically just like a spot up jump shooter. He's still got a nice touch. He can still pop from the arc. And he can still shoot. But
he's dragging it
down low on defense. He had no lift to try to block a shot, and the spider went off in that game. Mitchell and the Cleveland rolled them. That was in Philly.
It was a terrible beginning of the game.
And they had everybody. Paul George, who never played. Okay. And by the way, the announcer goes on. He called him PG-13. He used to wear 13 with Indiana 20 years ago.
What are we doing?
He wears 8 now. Stop it. Get the guy's number right, first of all, okay? But
I get Philly, a PG-13 because of a movie.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. I got it. It was lame.
Yeah.
But in that game, I definitely saw what you saw. You're seeing a lesser Joel Embiid. That the MVP Embiid years are over, where a guy averaged 34 points a game. He's a shell of what he was.
It was terrible. It was almost embarrassing. I was take him out. What you're wasting everybody's time with that guy.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Anything else to highlight around the league, or no? I can't think of anything.
I told you the Unibrow never plays. He's out.
He's out
6 weeks, no surgery. But now with the trade deadline in a month, you can't move him, so he's staying in Dallas. Trae Young, I told you, hasn't played yet for Washington. I had something still odd there, and that trade was weird to me. McCollum's already playing. CJ McCollum's already playing for Atlanta. That's a nice move for them, for a team that could be in the playoffs this year. And of course, I got a chance to watch the late game that night. You said you saw a little bit of Philly and Cleveland. And of course, unfortunately, every time I get to watch Cooper Flag, he gets hurt.
Oh no!
It's nothing major, but it's his ankle again from when he got hurt in the ACC. Playoffs last year, ACC tournament. He had to leave that game against. I think they played Denver that night. Denver's been doing pretty well without Joker, by the way. They got Aaron Gordon back, who's a high flyer, can still get it done, and Jamal Murray 25 to 30 every single night. I like that Denver team, and when they get the Joker back, they're going to be pretty good. So a lot going on in the NBA. It's always fun.
All right, let's go to your Red Sox. Well, they didn't get Bregman, but they got themselves a pitcher. I would say maybe a number 2. Are you happy with this? And it's a lot of money, and it's more money than they offered Bregman. Am I right?
Well, so obviously the pitcher that they're bringing in is left-handed pitcher, 30-year-old lefty Ranger Suarez.
Yep.
He comes
and I thought they were saying Torres, and I'm like, from the Yankees.
What?
I'm like, he doesn't pitch.
So he comes in, and you know what? I heard what you heard as far as the money. So maybe there's deferrals because the Bregman's got some money deferred, but Suarez gets 5 years, 130. The Red Sox offered Bregman 5 for 165. So I don't know. I don't know where that comes from, but I heard what you heard. That was said. So it must be there's some validity to that. But let's get back to this pitcher first, and then I'll go back to Judas Jr. Okay, but Suarez comes in 12-8 with a 3.20 ERA last year. He's good for like 27, 28 starts a year. So he seems like he's got one DL stint every year, but he's been a durable pitcher. And I remember a couple of years ago when Phillies made it to the World Series, I think in 22, he was their top guy as far as in the rotation in the playoffs. So this guy's done it on the big stage. His ERA, I think, lifetime in the playoffs is 1.48.
Oh wow!
So this is a guy, and he's not a swing and miss guy. He doesn't get a lot of strikeouts, Jess. And the all the stat geeks, hard hit rate. They say he's 31%, which is one of the best in the major leagues, meaning that teams are not hitting the ball that hard against him. But again, if you don't put a good team now you've whiffed on Bregman. You didn't get Bregman. You didn't get Bichette, who I just sources just told me just signed with the Mets, 3 years, $146 million. So you didn't get another bat. They're going to trade for a bat because they're loading up on arms right now. And I believe a guy like Suarez, who's a ground ball pitcher, you better have a good defense in the infield behind him if you're going to be successful.
Second and third.
So obviously, there you go. You got holes right there. So what good is it if you bring a ground ball pitcher in and you can't field the ball? They better learn how to catch it. That's all I'm saying.
Did I win?
Oh, wow.
Patriots ticket.
Oh, this chick in the middle. This chick in the middle of the show
I'm
is
going to the game.
Who you going with?
I don't know. You want to go?
What?
Dean's gotta go.
No, I didn't say that.
Come on.
I never said that.
People are like, they gave away Patriots tickets, and I'm going.
All right,
Let's go.
So obviously, I'm in the middle of a rant on MLB right now, but obviously through the window, Jess just found out that she won 2 tickets to the Pats and Texans in about 5 hours?
Yes,
okay.
Let's go. I gotta text little Jess and say she's probably not gonna go, but anyway, I won.
How's my tooth feeling?
Tickets. I don't know. I'm gonna find out. Friggin' take some oxy. Let's go.
What?
All right. Anyway,
all right. We'll talk about that after. So so it's official, huh? You won the tickets.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a horseshoe up your kazoo.
My kazoo.
Ouch. Jess, I really do. I like the pitcher and I like the rotation. I think the Red Sox have one of the better rotations in the league right now.
They just don't have anybody in the infield.
They're going to score 1 run a game. No, but you look at this rotation now. You've got Crochet. Now you got a number 2, Ranger Suarez. Whether it's Sonny Gray 3, 2-3, you can spin it anyway. For the purpose of this discussion, I'll go Crochet 1. You've got Suarez 2. You've got Sonny Gray 3, and then the back of the rotation, you've got 7 or 8 guys for 2 spots.
Right.
Bayo's still there with a 3.35 ERA. He's going to get moved. I got a feeling he may be on the move now because now what you have to do now with Bichette being gone, Bregman being gone, those guys are off the market. Now you need a third baseman or a second baseman, and you need a right-handed bat. They're going to use some of this pitching to flip it for a bat.
Okay.
It won't be Suarez. They just brought him in. So
right.
Suarez is there. You got Cutter Crawford at the back of the rotation. They brought the kid Oviedo in from the Pirates. And then, of course, you got the 2 kids that I know you liked last year, Connolly Early and Peyton Tolley.
Right. Do they have to get rid of one of them?
Unfortunately, if they get a big name, if they get a proven guy, a guy, 30 and 100 guy, it's going to cost you one of those guys.
Which one would you rather have?
I'm hanging on to Tolley because he's
Early did so well.
I think Early's, he's got that little baby face, looks like he's 12. I think Tolley's just got lights out kind of stuff where I think Early could be one of those guys, like more of a finesse guy. And I think maybe his ceiling is a 3, 4, or 5 starter, where someone like Tolley I can't help but to think he could be a 1 or a 2 someday.
And an uncle.
Yeah, and he's 22. He looks like he's 47. Okay, but no, the Red Sox did some good things here, and of course, obviously they pivoted after not getting Bregman back for whatever reason. Bregman was never a Red Sox. He was there for a year. I'm not going to say he burnt us. It's not Cooley all over again. It's not Judas, but again, like 5 years, 175, 165, whatever the Red Sox offered him. That's pretty fair. I mean, if you don't want that, then you don't want to be in Boston.
Right. And that's the thing is like any guy that gets paid more, it doesn't matter. If you ever notice you get paid more money, they just go where the money is. They couldn't care less. Oh, I love this team. I want to be with this team. The liars. It's money. Money talks. And that's all it is.
Yeah. And obviously the Red Sox had egg on their face. They look really bad because, you had Devers last year, who obviously was a poison, but you brought Bregman in. That ended up being a problem. Now here we are, not even a full calendar year later, and they're both gone.
All right.
So you're like, what's the backup plan? All right, well, great. You brought in a number 2 pitcher today. That's nice. 5 years, $130 million. I'm happy. Mm-hmm. But you still have work to do. And obviously, as this offseason is going on, it sounds to me like they're not going to move one of the outfielders. They're going to keep everybody. And again, you just said earlier, there's no second baseman. I told you last week they could move Rafaela into play second, but now you're taking away your best of the 3 outfielders and putting him at second where he's just okay.
Yeah.
He's Jackie Bradley in center. I'm putting him in center.
Yeah.
And let all the other stuff kind of filter around there. So it's going to be interesting to see what else the Red Sox do, but they can't be done yet. Kyle Tucker's off the board. I told you he's the number 1 free agent. I mean, the Dodgers are it's monopoly money now. 4 years, $240 million. He's got opt-outs after the second and third year. Here's a guy, 266. This is not a misprint. 266 with, I think, 26 home runs and 73 RBIs last year.
You could have done that.
25 stolen bases. He got hurt. He hurt his shin playing for the Cubs. He did play 136 games. But when he was with the Astros, he was the guy that you thought was going to be the next superstar in the game. So the Dodgers feel like they got better, and then the Mets pivoted and they got Bo Bichette from the Blue Jays. You figure the Blue Jays made a lot of moves this year. They weren't going to have the money to give Bichette. He got a 3-year deal for 146. I'll be honest with you, I just got a text from Mark Lombari, one of our loyal listeners.
Oh, yes.
And he said I would have done that, and I have to agree with Mark on that one. 3 years, 146. He was willing to switch positions. You could have put him at second, Mayer at third, or vice versa, whatever. But the Red Sox didn't want to go that road. So now you talk about these prospects. If you signed Bichette, it's a lot of money, but you wouldn't have had to give up any prospects. You would have given up compensatory picks. Now you go out and you try to get a bat. You're going to flip. You're going to trade a Bayo or a pitcher, which obviously they have that pitching depth. I don't want to see them give up Tolley or early right now because I don't see them as a World Series contender.
All right, very nice. Well, we're running out of clock here, and I got to find out where my seats are. Let's thank our sponsors, and we'll be back with a little bit of hockey.
790 The Score, your best bet for sports.
Celebrating 25 years, Build RI members have been directly involved in constructing over 110 local, all-union, large-scale commercial construction projects worth more than $10 billion, promoting local economic development initiatives in order to create business opportunities for local businesses and work opportunities for local skilled craftsmen and women in a competitive environment that is level and fair. With career opportunities developed through apprenticeship training programs, the focus is geared towards making their craftsmen and women the most highly skilled in the construction industry. To find out more, visit buildri.org.
The Rhode Island Building and Construction Trades Council. 10,000 skilled craftsmen and women. Together with our contractors, we spend approximately $6 million per year training our membership in state-of-the-art construction technologies to ensure a stable, safe, and productive workforce, delivering projects on time and on or under budget with the finest craftsmanship in the industry. The Rhode Island Building and Construction Trades Council. We build Rhode Island.
No one wants to be involved in an accident, but if there is an occurrence, the best place to take your vehicle is Northeast Auto Body in Johnston. They have a state-of-the-art collision and service center complete with the latest in mechanical and collision repair. But they're a business that handles more than just body work. They provide services such as vehicle inspections, mechanical work, rentals, paintless dent removal, 24-hour towing, and more. Northeast Auto Body, serving New England for over 20 years. Get it done right the first time. Northeast Auto Body, 775 Hartford Ave in Johnston, and at neautobody.com. All right, in NHL news, the Bruins, they won the other night, and they put in the rafters.
Zdeno Chara.
In the Raptors. That guy is the tallest man in America. Yeah, my goodness, he was walking through.
How many 6'9" hockey players are there? He's the only one. I mean,
he was like walking through the front of the TD Garden. He was like, saying hi to fans and stuff. I'm like, this guy is ginormous.
Now, do I wish that you and I did a 5-day-a-week show, yes. But when we do a 1-day-a-week show, it's amazing how things can change the narrative like a good week.
Right.
So, you retire Zdeno Chara's number. Last week, I'm telling you, the Bruins are not dead and buried, but they're in trouble. And I've still stayed the course. I haven't gotten sour on them. I've kind of been good with them. The streak, they've been a little streaky, but now we're on another hot streak. Now they can't lose.
Right.
Winners of 5 straight and 7 out of 8. And the Bruins beat the Kraken Thursday night on Zdeno Chara night.
Obviously, you have to win on those
Pasternak
games.
with an open net goal to ice it. But this Bruins team, I'll tell you, 27-19. They're back in the hunt for a wild card, and I'm liking the way they're playing. It's just been fun. Like this, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster, but I like it. So I mean, like right now, good things for the Bruins, the Celtics. They're back in the hunt again. They had some really good wins, Jess. They had back-to-back shutouts, a 1-0 victory over the Penguins. By the way, the Penguins probably don't spend money anymore because I think John Henry's got part owner of that team. So that's probably why they suck. And then, of course, Swayman got his first shutout of the season. He's 18-11. They beat Detroit, I think, on Saturday 3-0. So they had some nice wins. And they had a 10-goal. Last week, they had a 10-goal game. They beat the Rangers 10-1 or something. They had 2 guys with hat tricks. Somebody had 4 goals in the game. God. Yeah, Pasternak had 6 assists in this game. So the Bruins they had a really, really good week. And you have one good week and right back in the hunt. Like I said, second in the wild card, 56 points, and with a nice 3-2 win over the Kraken on Thursday night. Really good times right now in Boston.
Very nice. All right. I'm scared to ask.
Do you want me to finish the rest of the show and you can take off? I mean, what do you want to do?
No. I mean, I believe by noon I should be all right.
What?
I just didn't know. We have 10 minutes left. I didn't know if you wanted to talk about PC at all.
Yeah, I'll give them a minute.
Okay. All right. So let's.
Because you were watching the game and we were texting the other night. I think that was on. That may have been tooth extraction night.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Yeah, because I said take an oxy.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I do have a clip from Kim English.
It's tough. You get back-to-back quad 1 games at home. Having the Connecticut game, right there for us, obviously took some wind out of our sail a little bit. But I liked our resolve, especially in the second half. Following a tough loss at Xavier, down 12 at halftime in your own building, I was proud of the fight. We got to stick where our backs are more than against the wall, right now. And it's going to be a good test for us to watch us not let go of the rope. We didn't let go of the rope. We let go of the rope at Xavier in the first half when we weren't making shots. I was proud to see him not let go of the rope in the second half tonight.
How proud are you, Dean?
No, where's the fight? I'm not seeing it. I mean, I get it. Okay, a little bit against Nova the other night at home. The Xavier game, they mailed it in after the UConn game. He's contradicting what he's saying. He's not even really making sense. They sucked in the Xavier game. You lost to Richard Pitino, who's supposed to have the worst team in the Big East. He's got centers, like 7-foot centers shooting threes. They got smoked in that game. It was 17-7 from the rip. They never came back, and they looked like they kind of almost borderline mailed it in.
Yeah.
So what, are you happy because you played a decent second half against Villanova? Another team that was supposed to kind of suck this year. Oh, that's right. When you bring a coach in Kevin Willard with a track record, you can kind of turn things around pretty quick. I'm not saying he's Jay Wright, but there's some nice coaches in the Big East right now. So look out. Maybe the talent level's not there yet, but there's some good coaches. They're going to recruit. They're going to bring guys in, and it's only going to get harder for Kim English as this season is like I said, 12-20 is real right now. I'm not going to give it much more than that. 1-5 in the Big East. I'm not liking anything right now other than watching like Jameer Jones finish in transition.
That guy should be a football player.
And by the way, the only guy that I like, and obviously we like Vox too, but
love Vox.
And I don't want to hear anybody say, well, they didn't have Jameer Jones in the Xavier game. He was hurt with a shoulder. He missed that game. Okay. He averaged 10 a game. So he didn't play in that game. Oh. And then the game against Nova the other night, Edwards was out with a foot injury. Yeah. He's a ball hog anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I didn't like something Jones did at the end of the half. Okay.
Of which game?
Of the Nova game. Okay. He defended the guy on the last play, with 2 seconds left. He made a nice play defensively, and just out of frustration,
he threw the ball.
Threw the ball at the guy.
Yeah.
He gets a technical. I think he's just frustrated because he sees that he's in a no-win situation. He's the only guy that can really do anything. He throws the ball. Luckily, the other kid for Villanova tore into the PC bench, so they ended up being offsetting.
Yeah.
But I'm saying right now, this guy's kind of starting to lose his cool a little bit too. And there was another play earlier in the first half where Jones looked like he hurt his shoulder on a drive to the hoop.
Yep.
And there was 5 trips up and down the court where there was no dead ball. You think Kim would have used one of the timeouts to get the kid out of the game.
Yeah.
And he rode with the kid, and then he ends up on the ground at the end. He did come back, but I'm just seeing so many things.
He does seem to hit the ground a little much, and then he comes bouncing back. There is a
true.
minute. There's a minute of a break here and there that he's taken.
I'm going to give you that one. Good save, partner. But
right,
I'm just seeing a lot I don't like. Let's move on from
All
them.
right, let's move to birthdays. It is Sunday, January 18th. I'm headed to the Patriots game. We'll see what Needham's doing. Who was born today?
All right, back on hockey again. The great Marc Messier turned 65. NHL center. I can't believe he played 25 years. These guys play forever in hockey. He was.
I don't know how either.
It's unbelievable. Obviously, his great years with Edmonton, but he did come over and win a Stanley Cup with the New York Rangers, who had won one in like 50 years. Finished with Vancouver. This guy won 6 Stanley Cup championships, 5 with the Oilers, 1 with the Rangers. 65 years old, Marc Messier, one of the greats of all time. Moving on to the baseball side. Former Red Sox and Orioles outfielder Brady Anderson. They used to call him Brady 90210 because he had the long sideburns. He looked like Luke Perry and Jason Priestley a little bit. The reason why I mentioned him, he's obviously 62 years old. I can't believe it. Red Sox came up in 1987 or 88 with the Red Sox. They traded him. He ended up being a 3-time All-Star, mostly with the Orioles. Think about Brady Anderson. People don't remember. He was traded with Curt Schilling, who was drafted by the Red Sox originally. Came full circle for Mike Boddicker. So it was Brady Anderson and Curt Schilling went to the Orioles for Mike Boddicker, who was a right-handed pitcher, helped the Red Sox win 2 division championships. Reason why I mentioned Brady Anderson, because he was right smack dab in the middle of the steroid era, where all of a sudden, like one year he was hitting 12, 10 home runs a year, and then he hit a 50 beam the next year. And a lot of people kind of like that scratched a few eyebrows, okay? So it was a little,
maybe he just really practiced.
Yeah, a little sketchy there for Brady, but yeah, 90210. Brady Anderson is 62. I can't believe that. Going over to the entertainment side, the great
Wow.
Kevin Costner.
Oh, okay. Very nice. 66.
71.
He looks awesome.
And I'm going to keep him
That doesn't even make sense.
because we do a sports show. Obviously, I call him movie actor TV because he did Yellowstone.
Yes.
But I go Field of Dreams, Bull Durham, 2 of my top 5 baseball movies of all time. And, of course, For the Love of the Game, where he was the pitcher. Kelly Preston was the girlfriend in that one. The great Kevin Costner is 71.
Very nice.
Another actor, Jason Segel, is 46.
Don't forget The Bodyguard, by the way, Kevin Costner. Come on.
I like the music. I like the soundtrack.
Yeah,
but
soundtrack's
the
awesome.
movie's marginal at best. Jason Segel is 46. How I Met Your Mother, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and currently Shrinking with Harrison Ford on Apple. And I do have one release for January 18th. One of my favorite shows back when I was a kid growing up in the late 70s, early 80s, The Jeffersons.
Oh, yeah.
Debuted in
Moving on up.
1975. Sherman Hemsley, Isabel Sanford, of course, when you played George and Louise, respectively. You know, they were sort of like an African-American family that moves into this like high-level like apartment building. They had like a bunch of string of what do you call it?
Characters like the janitor and stuff.
Well, no, their livelihood. He had dry cleaning business.
Oh, yes,
yeah,
yes.
The dry cleaning business. And I want to name. It was on CBS. It ran for a while, like 7 seasons, and it spun off from Archie Bunker. They were kind of like neighbors at the time. How about you know who Roxy Roker is?
Okay,
I know
Al Roker.
So what? She was the neighbor. She was married to, at the time, you know, she was African-American, married to the white guy, Tom, who lived next door. They were their best friends. Roxy Roker. Yeah. Okay. Her son is Lenny Kravitz.
Oh, okay. Very nice.
So I thought I'd chuck that little nugget in there. And those are, all right, I got it. And those are my birthdays and releases for January 18th with a bad upper mouth area.
Out there. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I will say this about Lenny Kravitz. We were watching the Golden Globes, and Jess didn't know it was Zoe Kravitz. And so she was on the stage and she goes, she looks like Lisa Bonet. I'm like, yeah, that's her kid. That's probably how that worked out. We have 2 minutes and 30 seconds. We're going to talk about, I'm going to the Patriots game, so I need to figure out what I'm wearing and what I'm drinking. But besides that, I started watching His and Hers on your recommendation. I'm having a problem with it. I have a problem with how many times they say Jack, Anna. If I said, Dean, what do you think about the Patriots today? Dean, do you think Drake May is going to have a good job? But Mike Vrabel's pretty good, huh, Dean? How many times can you say, we get it, it's Jack and Anna? You don't have to end every sentence with their name. They're sitting right in front of you. I think Jack is the biggest idiot in the world. He's a dumbass. Yeah. And then Anna, well, I'm not done, by the way. So I've only watched 4 episodes, and I'm just... It's very frustrating.
You're not done with the show. You're not done talking. Which
I'm not done with.
All right, go ahead. I like the rant. I like the rant.
I will say that I think that all her fault, and I know you didn't see it, is the people are saying that they're kind of on the same level. All her fault is so far leaps and bounds better than His and Hers. I don't know. Something just irritates me about Jack.
Do you know who the camera guy is?
No, Richard Jones.
Yeah. So that is Pablo Schreiber. He's Liev Schreiber's half brother.
Oh,
yes, step brother, half brother. Yep. And he's the villain in the Law and Order SVUs. He's he's Lewis, William Lewis.
Wait. I think
Yeah.
I actually have the law. Where's my Law and Order? Damn it, there it is.
What?
Wait, hold on. Is it this one? Yeah, hold on. There we go. We got it for you. All right, we got 1 minute
Tell
left.
you, kind of a good. I thought it was a decent ending. You know, it's like anything else. Is you look up, you pause it for a second. You say, "Oh God, there's 17 minutes left." That means something else has to happen,
Right?
You know, and that's kind of where I was with this. Where you think it's over, but it's really not. Because I'm like, the episode's not over yet.
Yeah.
You know, and how about the Holland Coben one? You guys didn't look into that one yet. That's the Runaway.
Oh yeah, the Runaway we haven't seen yet. So
Yeah.
we got to finish his and hers. Jess doesn't even want to finish it anymore. Like
So
she's already tapped
You're
out.
not a John Bernthal fan?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
He's Jack. He's Jack.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no.
And Tessa Thompson's the reporter.
Wife,
Yeah.
not wife, whatever.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I'm gonna finish it and then we'll talk about it.
She had a
next
good time with Richard.
week. Yes, she did.
I mean, she didn't care who was knocking on the door. What are you doing over here?
Later in the show, what's going on in these trucks? Everybody banging in trucks. I can't get it.
it's
Anyway,
graphic.
This is Keeping Score with Jess and Dean. Patriots pregame will be up in a little bit. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Keeping Score with Jess and Dean. Go Pats!
Get going.
I know, seriously.